Hey everybody, it's another episode of Living with the Savage, the official vlog of Big Rob Savage. Man, I'm so glad you guys are tuned in today to spend a little time with me. Today we're gonna be talking about my album release, My Life Like a Grizzly. I am so excited about this topic and what we're doing. So much energy, so much time. I mean, such a huge team worked with us to put this project together. And today we're really gonna break it down and look at the nuts and bolts and talk about what this album is all about. Man, it's gonna be awesome. So before we get in too deep today about talking about the album, I wanna make sure everybody stays tuned in to the end of the video because I've got some huge announcements, and trust me, you want to be part of these announcements. We got some huge giveaways and some amazing things coming up, so make sure you stay tuned in. So today I'm going to tell you guys about how the album came about, My Life Like a Grizzly. What that title means for me is ever since I can remember, I've been living my life like a grizzly. I mean, when it's time to hibernate, I hibernate. When it's time to go get fed, I go get fed. I don't make excuses. I'm a protector. And so if I got to protect my family, it doesn't matter what it takes, I'm going to do it no matter what that means. And so My Life Like a Grizzly is how I reference myself. A lot of my thoughts are grizzly thoughts. I'm a very extreme person. So whatever I do, I go full force. And so how the album came about though, is I wanted to share with the audience about my life story. You know, I've done vlogs in the past where we've talked about my upbringing, some of the things I've been through. And in the song, My Life Like a Grizzly, I talk about me being a kid who had to struggle with everything from being light skinned in the 70s with curly hair and all the girls liking my hair and wanting to braid my hair and dealing with jealous dudes who want to fight every day in school. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to do all that. I wasn't really into all that, but that's something I had to do. So I had to become a grizzly because I was under attack all the time for just jealousy. As my life goes on, I live my life in the hood, growing up in the streets. You see a lot of stuff, you do a lot of stuff. Came out of that, started my own company. By the time I was 21 years old, I had a family, a wife, 3 kids, and then boom, I'm in business. And so I didn't come from a family of business. Nobody taught me how to be in business. Nobody told me I should own a company. But I wanted to get away from things in the street and turn myself positive and turn what I wanted to accomplish into something legal and something that could be productive for not only my family, but for the community as well. So I literally started off a plumbing company with me, just me by myself, one van, some equipment. I was a master plumber and I started my company. And so I talk about that. I say one man, one van, 80K a month. And most of the audience who hears that's not gonna have a clue to what that means. But that was a little inside story about what really happened. I was one man in one van, and I was able to change our financial lifestyle from, I don't know, $5,000 or $6,000 a month to $80,000 a month and on over $100,000 a month as I started my company. Like I said, I'm an extreme person. I worked 20 hours a day for I don't know how many years. I never complained. I never came home and told my wife how bad my day was and how hard life is and man, it sucked. I was on a bad job. I was happy to do something different for my family. So My Life Like a Grizzly, this album meant a lot to me because it told a lot about my life story, my history, what I've been through. In the rest of the song, I've talked about, I never have shame. So I've done a lot of things that a lot of people would consider to be horrible. And a lot of things I did do weren't the best things that you could do. I've done a lot of bad things. I've done been in a lot of bad situations, been in a lot of bad places. But all those things were preparation for where I'm at today. And it strengthened me and it helped me grow. And so the process of the album, where it all started, is I just really wanted to share and tell people that no matter where you came from, no matter how poor you was, no matter how dysfunctional, I think I came from one of the most dysfunctional families out there. I'm not saying it was the worst, but I mean, dysfunction is how we lived every day. I woke up and went to bed in dysfunction every day. And I didn't carry that over into my family. I changed that. I wanted something different for my family, so I changed that. And so My Life Like a Grizzly tells about my life story, who I am, what my family's about, and where we're going in life. I say there's one part in My Life Like a Grizzly that says, now my fam is fed right, we're still on the hunt. We made it, we're already successful, we're winning. But I'm still on a hunt. Just because the grizzly bear has enough food to feed his family, he doesn't just go lay around and not, do anything. So I never stop hustling. I never stop growing. And I've been able to consistently teach my family that over the years. Decisions I made 20 years ago literally have affected me positively how I live today. Decisions I made 20 years ago is taking care of my family all the way up until today as we speak. And so that's what a grizzly bear's life is about. Yeah, he probably did some stuff he shouldn't have did. He probably ate some people or ate some animals he shouldn't have ate, and maybe got in some fights with some other bears he shouldn't have got in. But he always took care of his family. He always made sure his family was okay. And then so there's no shame in what he did. I mean, he didn't like everything he did. I don't like everything I did, but there's no shame in it. Along the journey, as we were recording My Life Like a Grizzly, we did a bunch of recording at Strangeland, and Ben, the engineer over there, I love him. He's a great engineer, helped us a lot with this album. And as we were going to different studios, working with different engineers, working with different people, I ran into someone with Universal Music Group. And so I ran into him. We had a meeting, and I mean, within literally the same day after having the meeting, a few hours later, we had a contract with Universal Music Group and Bungalow Records. And so that took everything I was doing to the next level. I mean, it took us to a level that most people aspire to get their whole career, and sometimes it never happens. So this was extremely blessed that we partnered up, joined up with Universal Music Group, and this whole album, I mean, they've been working on this project with me for the last 60 days. I mean, tirelessly. You can't even imagine how much energy they've put into this and how many phone calls we've been on, and just properly laying everything out so this album can be over the top. I got involved with Paul, who's the president of Bungalow Records, and he was able to connect us with Universal Music Group, so we're all in this together. I've got a guy that I work with at Bungalow Records. His name is Vicente, and man, I mean, he's just like a brother to me. I mean, he's walked us through everything we needed to walk through in order to get us where we're at today. And so we have a phenomenal relationship. We've flown out to California to go meet Paul, the president of Bungalow Records. And my wife and I, we went out and met him, had lunch, hung out, and we've got a bunch more meetings that we've got set up that we're going back out to California when all the travel bans stop and stay-at-home orders open back up. But we got a lot of huge stuff, a lot of really big, exciting things coming for you guys in the future too that we're working on right now, even as we're dropping this album, My Life Like a Grizzly. So my favorite song on the album is probably not gonna be everybody else's favorite song. My favorite song on the album is a song I dedicated to my dad. It's called Great Weavy. I lost my dad last year in the middle of doing this project, so he never got to hear this song. And the entire album is dedicated to him because my life wouldn't be lived like a grizzly if it wasn't for my dad. I remember my dad being in my life my whole life. And if you remember, I said, I've been in the wrong place, wrong time, wrong people, doing things I shouldn't have done on purpose. And my dad was always beside me. He never judged me. He was always right there to give me good advice and love me regardless of what happened. And so this song, Great Weavy, was a dedication to him about how amazing of a man he is. There's a part in the song that I did that, you know, I'm still trying to learn how to love like my dad every single day. I seen my dad love when the person didn't deserve any love, and I couldn't understand how he was able to love after someone cut his head off over and over again, and he was still able to love him. I couldn't figure that out, and I'm still learning how to do that today. I don't have a problem loving strangers or loving people that are unlovable, but if someone's done something to me, it's really hard for me to love that person the way my dad did, and I'm still learning how to do that today. And so my favorite song on the album is called Great Weavy. You guys can see the tattoo that I put on my arm. I put it in a rosary. It says Weavy, W-E-E-V-I-E. I did it in a rosary, and a rose is beautiful, and everybody wants roses, but at the same time, there's some thorns in the rose bush, and so that's why I did a rosary, because my dad, as much as my dad loved, my dad was hardcore. My dad was hardcore and did what it takes, no matter what it took, to make sure everything was okay, and I literally mean whatever it takes. And so most of how I live my life is because of things I've learned from my dad over the years. So the impact my father had on this album was to be very, very transparent with everybody. Music is not something that I would have particularly tried to shoot for on the dream list. But my father taught me something as a kid. He said, there's no such thing as can't. And then some of you guys might want to call it can't. But he said, there's no such thing as that. So anything you set out to do, you can do it. And so when we shot for this, I live by that. There's no such thing as can't. So the impact my father had on this album was I had to do the best that I could, give it all that I had, shoot for the stars, and put some good content out there for people to listen to. He told me before he passed that we would be traveling all around and people would be listening to what we had to offer. This was before this album was ever even mentioned or talked about. So he spoke that before this ever happened. What I personally believe is gonna be everybody's favorite song that we've put out is a song called Vibin'. I've got nothing but absolute amazing response from this song. Everybody who's worked with us on this song has asked me over and over, text, call. When are you dropping an album? When are you releasing a single? When are you putting a song out? So Vibin' is gonna be the best song on the album as far as fun, party, have a good time. It's the feel-good music. So you guys are gonna love Vibin'. I love Vibin' too. It's an absolutely amazing project that we did. But I think my favorite, I know for sure, my favorite song on the album for me that touched me the most is a song I dedicated to my father, Great Weavy. Caution OG worked with us. They're my relatives, they're my family. They've been doing music for over 10 years. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, when I first started doing music, man, they helped me tremendously. They added so much to what I was doing and what I'm still doing today. The support, the creativity, the professionalism, the wisdom, they helped us with all that. I mean, we've worked on so many projects together. It's been absolutely amazing and fun. They've watched me grow, in the music. And it's been really awesome because I'm a very humble person. And so I want to make sure I'm doing my best. And so, they'll correct me. If something doesn't sound right, like, hey, you can do that better, that you need to say this a different way, whatever it might be. That's the type of help I needed, and that's the type of help they gave. And I mean, they've been absolutely phenomenal on this project. Had it not been for them on this project wouldn't nearly be what it is. That's how important they were to this project. Phenomenal. And I could call them right now for anything I need, boom, they'd be right there. So that's the type of relationship that we have, and they could call me the same way. Anything they need, I got them. It doesn't matter what it is. And so it was just absolutely phenomenal to be able to work with somebody who's got that much experience and so much creativity with the song. So just absolutely amazing. And I can't thank them enough for all the help they gave us. So Timothy is featured on, I believe, 4 or 5 songs on this project as well. Timothy is my oldest son, and he's been doing music a long time. Really just doing music underground. He's a phenomenal writer. He's done, plenty of songs in the past. He's really never pursued it to be a dream per se. He always wanted to, but he's got a family, he's got a wife, he's got 2 kids, and so, he's in his 20s. He runs a plumbing company, so he's got a lot on his plate. But as I started putting songs out, it really lit a fire under him, and he's like, hey, if my dad can get out here and do this music, and he's just really getting into it, and I've been doing it for years, I can too. So I had him feature on a bunch of songs with me because he's a phenomenal writer. His energy's off the chart, and he's a really good, solid rapper. And so I was very proud to have him on these projects with me. So, it's something that a father and son can do that was absolutely amazing. To be honest with you, it's past my dreams of something that I could have even ever done with any of my kids, to be honest, because I just never expected this would happen the way that it did. So it caught us all off guard, but it was one of the best surprises ever. And now we work in the studio together all the time. We'll be in the studio all day tomorrow working. So this has just become a normal part of life for us now. The album, My Life Like a Grizzly, comes out this Friday. Ha! Woo! Wow, man, it's just been a long, long wait. A lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation, but it's finally here. So this Friday, May 29th, 2020, and if you're in Kansas City, we're gonna be at the KC Daiquiri Shop on Grand Boulevard in Kansas City from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. I want you to come down there. It's gonna be awesome. The first 24 people who show up will receive a free 16-ounce Big Rob Savage tumbler filled with the daiquiri of your choice. They've got all types of flavors of daiquiris, any kind you want. Come check it out, come taste it, you're gonna love it. I chose the Incredible Hulk the first time I went down there because I'm a hawk, I don't play around. So you know me, I'm a fanatic. So whatever your favorite is, come get it. So also, we're gonna have a prize wheel that you'll be able to spin for a chance to win a physical copy of the album, signed posters, signed cards, and a whole lot more. If you don't win spinning, you'll have the chance to purchase any of these items while you're there. So come out, hang out with us, and have a good time with Big Rob Savage. Finally, starting Friday, May 29th, we're gonna be holding a $500 giveaway celebrating the album's release, guys. 5 more hundred. You remember from my first release, the giveaways, how many people won cash money? You know you want my money. We're doing it again. This time, don't miss out. You get yours. So the rules are really simple. I just want to see a video or picture or screenshot of you listening to the album. That's all. So if you're listening to the album and you can just take a picture of it, I want you to take a picture of it. If you're listening to the album, you can take a video of it. I want you to take a video of it. I want you to send it to us. It can just be a screenshot of your favorite song on the album with Spotify, but I'd love to see you guys get creative with TikToks, dances, skits, anything you can think of. So the contest is gonna run from May 29th till June 5th, and at 11:59, that's when it's gonna stop. So at 11:59, boom, that's it. That's your time. Have it in before then. Please send in all submissions to Big Rob Savage Contest at gmail.com for your chance to enter. Remember that, guys. I'm gonna say it again. Don't make it hard. This is, even I can do this. Even I can do this. Send all the submissions to Big Rob Savage Contest at gmail.com for your chance to enter. That's Big Rob Savage Contest at gmail.com. So as we start receiving some of the submissions, we're gonna start posting some of those submissions on Big Rob Savage Instagram and Big Rob Savage Facebook. So make sure you go to our social media platforms throughout the contest to see the different submissions and the creativity, the energy, and the fun of what people are submitting. So please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and smash the bell for new notifications. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram to keep up with us day to day, what we're doing and what we have going. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's episode of Living with the Savage, and I'll see you next time.
My life like a Grease lane. We getting money. My life like a Grease.